Yeah. Sorry. So let's continue. So let us discuss about what screen exits. Okay. So what is the purpose of screen exits? To plug what additional fields. To plug the additional fields, we go for what screen exits. Okay. Function exit. What we are going to do? We are not going to add additional fields on the existing standard SAP fields only. We are going to impose what additional validations. Okay, so let us discuss about this particular screen exit. So the exact meaning of screen exit is something like this. Assume that we have some standard SAP transaction. Try to understand. We have some standard SAP transaction which has got some fields. Okay, try to understand. So there are some three fields available. These fields are given by whom? SAP itself. Okay, now my requirement is, in this standard SAP transaction, I want to plug some additional fields. Why we have to plug additional fields? To capture some additional data specific to our customer. We are going to add what additional fields. I repeat once again. The purpose of adding additional fields is what? If the standard fields are not sufficient to capture your customer data, then as part of our customer business requirement, we are going to plug what additional fields. We are going to plug the additional fields. Okay, and one more thing you have to understand is, not every SAP transaction is enhanceable. Means I cannot add the additional fields wherever I want. Okay, so customer will come to you saying that, okay, I'm having this particular SAP transaction. In this transaction, I want some additional fields at so and so place. So what I mean to say is, I cannot add additional fields wherever I want. We need to check whether SAP has provided any screen enhancements for that particular transaction. If they have provided the screen enhancement, then we can add the additional field. So blindly we cannot add the additional fields wherever we want. And whatever the additional fields we are going to add, they are generally added inside what? Subscreen. They are generally added inside what? Subscreen. So in our basic ABAP, we know about subscreen. What is a subscreen? A subscreen is a part of a what? A subscreen is a part of a main screen. So what we'll do is, and we already know that a subscreen cannot sit directly on what? Normal screen. So assume that this is your normal screen. So already we know in module pool we have normal screen, subscreen, and model dialog box. So subscreen cannot sit directly on what? Normal screen. Subscreen should always be placed on top of what? Subscreen area. So what we can say, a subscreen area is a container of what? Subscreen. A subscreen area is a control which can hold what? Subscreen. So what you have to do is, we require one subscreen area. On top of that subscreen area, the subscreen will come and sit. Inside that subscreen, we can add what? Additional field. So if you see this requirement here, so assume that on behalf of Tata business requirement, I am adding some two additional fields. These two additional fields are specific to which customer here? Tata. Similarly, here in the same transaction, according to Reliance business requirement, we want some additional fields. So again, these additional fields are placed on behalf of which customer here? Reliance. Okay, so first what you have to understand is, we need to check whether that particular standard SAP transaction is enhanceable or not. Means we need to check whether that screen contains, whether the transaction contains what? Screen exits. I mean to say screen enhancements. If it is having screen enhancements only, I can add the additional fields. And one more thing is, I cannot add the field wherever I want. Okay, SAP will provide one area. In that area only we can add what? Additional fields. What should be our agenda? Our agenda is what? To capture some additional data. So where you add the fields is not important. The agenda is what? Whether we are adding the additional fields or not. So customer will say that I want the additional field at so and so place. So it's not possible. We have to check where SAP has provided that plugin. In that area only we can add what? Additional fields. Hope it's clear to everyone. Any questions on this? Done. So what I'll do is I'll take one simple example to understand this. Let me take a transaction code called as MP01. So yesterday we have seen the T code what XG01 customer create. Similarly related to MM module, we have a T code called as what MP01. MP01. It is a standard transaction. Approved manufacturer parts list. Okay, so we need not worry about what is the purpose of the transaction code. Our job is we need to check whether it is enhanceable or not. If it is enhanceable, I should be able to enhance it. That's all. What that particular transaction will do, it is not our job. It is the job of a functional consultant. So if you come across a transaction which you have not used earlier, we have to sit with the functional consultant to understand how that particular transaction works. Okay, so as an ABAP consultant, we may not know the functionality of what we may not know the functionality of what each and every transaction, and you need not know also. Okay, so the customer will come to you or the functional concern will come to you. He will provide us a T code and he will say that in so and so transaction I want the additional field. So what you have to do, we need to sit with that particular functional consultant and understand how to navigate in that particular transaction, because we don't know about anything about the transaction. We don't know what is the test data I need to provide. We don't know how to navigate from one screen to another screen in the transaction. That is the reason we have to take the help of functional consultant to understand the how that particular transaction works. So what I will do initially is, let us try to run this MP01. So I'm having some problem with my server. It's getting disconnected every time. Yeah. So here I'll run the T code MP01. MP01 done. So when I run the T code MP01, I got a transaction might contain what n number of screens. Okay, so I got the initial screen related to that particular transaction code. What is this? Maintain approved manufacturer parts list. It is asking some material number, internal material number. So just browse this and try to provide some existing material. So when I continue here, it is showing you what lots of materials. Okay, so for practice purpose, what I'll do is I'll just provide one material, J4360. Any material you provide doesn't matter, just you have to provide one existing material. So I just browsed it, I got one material by name what J4360. Done. Do we have any other buttons to click here? We don't have. So we need to take the help of functional consultant to understand how to navigate to the next screen. So since I don't have any buttons here, let me just press enter. Okay, I'll press enter here. Let me check whether I'll able to go to the next screen or not. So when I press enter, okay, done. Understood, I got the next screen. I got some ALV report kind of thing here, done. So now, acha. So let me just go back to the previous screen. Yeah, this is my previous screen. So as I told you, I cannot add the additional fields wherever I want. Okay, a transaction might contain n number of screens. We don't know in which screen we can add the additional fields. That we will know only after identifying the exit and by reading the documentation of that. Okay, so this is my initial screen. Your customer may come to you and say that I want some additional fields here. So we cannot say yes. Okay, we have to check whether it is enhanceable or not. So as of now, I'm pressing enter here. I got some report kind of thing here done. And you can see on the application toolbar, we have some buttons here. I don't know the functionality of these buttons. Let us try to check the help here. What is the description here? Other AMPL. So when I click on this, again it is taking back to the initial screen. So that is not the appropriate button. Fine. Let me go inside again. I'll press enter. What is the next one here? Details button, it seems. When I click on details button, I'll try to click on details button. I got some details related to this. So I got the details of something here, done. Then what is this here? Maintain text. I'll click on maintain text. Let's see what happens. When I click on that maintain text, let's see what does it do. I clicked on that maintain text. It is opening me some editor, script editor. So in scripts and smart forms, we'll get this editor. It is opening me some editor where I have to maintain some text. Okay, fine. This may not be appropriate for me. I'll go back. What is the next button here? Delete it seems. Again, this is not appropriate. What is this? Select all. Again, this is for selecting all the things. This is for what? Deselecting. Okay. So these are not my appropriate buttons. I'll do one thing. I'll select one of the entry. In my report, I'll select one of the entry. What is that? J2003 and what is the manufacturer Reynolds. I'll just select this. I'll click on what details button. Okay. When I click on details button, yeah, I got some screen here. So what I'm trying to say here is, as part of this transaction, we are able to visit how many screens? We are able to visit some 3 screens. This is my initial screen. Okay, so I don't know where the additional fields will come and sit. Whether it is in the inside the initial screen, let me press enter, or inside this particular screen, or let me choose one entry here, any entry. I'll click on what details. I'm getting some other screen. So overall, this transaction contains some 3 screens. So whatever the additional fields I'm going to add, I don't know in which screens those additional fields will be populated. So okay, this is the functionality of this particular what transaction code. So now what is my job? I need to check whether this particular transaction is what enhanceable or not. What kind of enhancement you want to do here? You want to plug what additional fields. So if you want to plug additional fields, I need to check for what type of customer exit, screen exit. Yesterday we are trying to implement what additional validation. So we went for what function exit. We went for a customer exit containing what function exit. Now I need to look for customer exit containing what screen exit. So what is the procedure for identifying the customer exit? Already we have seen that yesterday. Let us do it. What is that? I'll go to what SC93. Okay, I'll go to SC93. Done. Sorry, yeah, SC93. What is that? Is asking transaction code. What you have to do? We have to identify the main program of your transaction code. What is the relevant transaction code here? MP01. So let me give MP01. Done. I'll click on what display. Done. So for this program, for this transaction code, what is the package they give? ME. So we should not check for the package of the T code. We should check the package of the main program. So let us navigate to the program. This is my program. I'll double click on this. Done. I got the program. Okay. So for this program, I need to identify what package. How do you identify? I'll choose the menu. Go to what attributes. Go to attributes. Done. So you can see here what is the package name here. Me is a package. So in this case also the package of the main program and the package of the transaction code are what same. But as I told you yesterday, it may not be same in every case. Okay. But in this case also it is same. So I got the package name of the main program. What is the package name here? ME is a package name. Done. So once we got the package name, I need to check whether that particular package contains any customer exits or not. So where do we check? In SC84, I'll go to SC84, Business Repository Information Systems. Yeah. In SC84, what you have to do under what? Enhancements. If you expand that, we have baddies and we have customer exits. Let me expand customer exits. Done. I'll double click on what? Enhancements. When I double click on this enhancements, done. It is asking me what? Package name. What is the package we got? Me na. So I'll provide the package name as me. Yesterday the package name of that XG01 main program was what? VS. And in that package, when we have searched, we got only one customer exit. So I'll double click on when I click on execute here after providing the package name. It is showing you what? It is showing you many customer exits. So again, yesterday we had only one customer exit. We directly went to S mode. We identified the components and we read the documentation, and we came to a conclusion saying that that function, that customer exit was suitable for our requirement. So here it is showing you what? Many customer exits. So again, no one will tell us what is the customer exit we need to implement. It is the responsibility of the ABAP developer to identify what? Suitable, to identify the suitable customer exit. How to identify? We need to check the descriptions here. You can observe here, I got some descriptions. These descriptions may not give you the complete information or may not give you the exact information. So I need to check the components of that customer exit. I need to read the documentation. Okay, I need to check the signature of that function module exits. Then we need to come to a decision which is appropriate for a requirement. Sometimes, even after doing all these things also, it will not be clear whether it is suitable for our requirement or not. So I may get some 2-3 exits which look similar. So what we'll do, we'll provide some dummy implementation. We will provide dummy implementation for those one or two customer exits. We'll put the breakpoints, dummy implementation, not the actual implementation. Just we'll try to implement them with some dummy implementation. You'll put the breakpoints, okay, and you'll test your transaction code. So at the appropriate place, an appropriate customer exit will be triggered. Based on the triggering, we'll get an idea whether it is appropriate for our requirement or not. I repeat once again, you may come across n number of customer exits or n number of baddies in a particular transaction. So we need to identify the components of each customer exit or each baddie. We need to read the documentation so that we'll get some information related to your requirement. Even after doing all this thing, if you are not sure which is the actual customer exit or baddie, what you will do, whichever customer exit or baddie you feel appropriate, you will try to implement that one or more customer exits or baddie with some dummy implementation, and you'll put the breakpoints, and then you'll test your transaction code with different data. At the appropriate place, an appropriate customer exit or baddie will be triggered. Based on the triggering, you'll get an idea whether it is suitable for your requirement or not. Rajesh, is it clear?
Yes, Sridhar, yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
so even if you're having 10-15 years of experience also, I cannot say that this is appropriate for my requirement. It is not possible at all. Okay, that is the reason I told you yesterday. Identifying the suitable enhancement is the most important thing. That itself is a 90% of your job. Once you get the suitable enhancement, implementation is only 10%. The implementation logic is very small, but identifying the suitable one is what important. So in this case, what is my requirement? I need to plug what? Additional fields. Why we have to plug additional fields? To capture some additional data. So what I need to do? I need to check for customer exit containing what? Screen exit. Okay. Since my requirement is to plug additional fields, I need to check for a customer exit containing what? Screen exit. Yesterday we had only one customer exit and that contains only one function exit. So here I need to look for a customer exit which is having what? Screen exit. So if you go back to that particular list, yeah, let me take it one by one. What is the first one here? AMPL 0001. AMPL 0001. What is the short description here? See, user subscreen, user subscreen for additional data on what? AMPL. So by looking at this description only, I feel it is appropriate for my requirement. What is that? User subscreen for additional data on AMPL. So what I told here, if you go back to this discussion, I told that I cannot add the additional fields directly on the main screen. Most of the time, the additional fields are added inside what? Subscreen. And that subscreen in the runtime will sit on top of what? Subscreen area in the runtime. So by looking at this description, it is understood that this is for nothing but what? Screen exit. Na? They are talking about what? Additional data. So even after looking at this, I am not clear on that. So what I'll do, let me take my customer exit name, AMPL 0001. Done. So let me go to that. What is the T code I have to go? SMOD. Na? So I'll go to SMOD /wo. It will keep the current session and open for a new session. So I'll go to SMOD T code. It's the loading this. Oh my god. I'll try to change the server in 1 or 2 days. I don't know what is the issue. Okay, so I'll go to what SMOD T code. What is the enhancement? What is the customer to be identified? ANPL 0001. ANPL 0001. So first thing you have to do is my requirement is what to plug the additional field. So what type of customer exit we require? Screen exit. Na? So check whether this customer exit contains any screen exit. So I'll choose components. When I display, good. You can see it. It is showing me what? How many function exit? 3 function exits. Let me put the cursor here. I'll click on this what? Navigate down button. Yeah, only 3 function exits are there. Done. Let me go back. Yeah. So we have 3 function exit, but my requirement is not function exit. Na? We require what? Screen exit. So yes, you can see it. Here we have what? Screen exit. Yesterday this was blank in that particular customer exit. In the yesterday's case, what was that this thing? SAP MF02D. This was the customer exit. This customer exit was having only what? One function exit without any menu exit, without any screen exit. Okay. Now in the today's case, AMPL 0001, this customer exit has got 3 function exits, 0 menu exits, and 1 screen exits. I mind